Welcome to Scatterplots and Trendlines in Google Sheets. In this sheet I have two columns of data that comes from a textbook problem. The problem gives data that compares the number of sales calls an insurance agent makes in a week and the number of actual sales made by the agent. The data here shows that for the first week he made 11 sales calls, but only made 3 sales. Data is recorded for several weeks. The purpose of this data will be to see if the number of sales calls influences the number of actual sales. One way to compare two sets of data like this is to create a scatterplot graph. First, highlight the data we want to use. Make sure the point is lined up by week so Sheets can treat it like an XY point. Go to the toolbar, select Insert, and then Chart. In the Chart Editor window, click on the Chart Types tab. Scroll down to the chart that is a scatterplot. This graph will plot without connecting points. Click Insert Chart and it is added to the current sheet. Move it if you like. It is worth noting at this point that we can see from the graph that as calls goes up, sales go up. Click on the chart, click on the drop box in the top right corner of the graph, and click on Advanced Edit. Let's fix some of the labels for this chart. I'll make the title Insurance Calls versus Sales. I'll make the horizontal axis calls per week. I'll make the vertical axis sales per week. Let's add a trend line to the chart. Scroll to the end of the menu until you see the trend line option. In the drop menu, select the appropriate trend line, in this case, linear. This will add a trend line and give more options. Change the label to Use Equation. The equation for the line will be displayed on the graph. If you want to clean this up a little, I can scroll back up to the legend and move it to the bottom of the chart. Remember that the trend line is an equation that can be used to calculate and predict values not on your graph. For instance, if I wanted to predict the number of sales I would make if I made 100 calls in a week, I would plug 100 in the equation for X and calculate Y, the number of sales for that week.